You talked about brand and branding, but talk about how you get a sustainable brand.
Yeah. I think the important piece of having a sustainable brand is having both a marketing muscle and a leadership muscle that is centered around listening. Sustainability of a brand depends on changing as the market changes, changing as the employee and the target member change. And if you don't have a muscle for active listening, you'll be left far behind when your competition is either new and starting out in a relevant place, or your competition or those who are competing for market share of that financial process or that financial decision for that maybe target member, maybe they have a better listening muscle. And so the central tenet of resilient brands is you have a great muscle to listen to what's happening in the market, and then on the other side, you have the nimbleness, you have the flexibility to make small changes as you learn from listening. And that's what keeps brands resilient over time. Look at any of them. Nike or even Starbucks or other timeless brands, they have the ability to just tweak enough so they stay relevant, but they don't change so much that they lose their differentiation.
We have a load of credit unions here that are watching, but you have billion-dollar credit unions down to $5 or $6 million credit unions. How can they be differentiators in their communities?
The greatest differentiator is the experience you give humans every day. But it's also important today to tell those stories. And so the small credit unions probably have amazing stories in their community, just as the large ones do. But who gets good at storytelling in relevant ways through social media, through local media, through other types of ways that connect with people, going to colleges, telling stories? All of these things help accelerate what is already good. So I think in some ways with social media, there's a way to level the playing field of the big credit union and the small one, because you have equal capability to storytell so people know about the great work you're doing.
So if a credit union were to look at you and say, I'm not sure if I have a brand, what would you tell them?
I would tell the credit union, if they don't realize they have a brand, they do have a brand, and they don't realize it. So they might think they don't, but a brand is nothing more than a promise to the consumer built over time by experiences. And so their community has had experiences over time. The community has an impression. Maybe the impression is it's old and it's dated and it was your grandma's way to bank. Or maybe the impression is it's incredibly relevant because they're doing great things, funding small businesses and new people coming into the community to build their lives. So the brand actually is there. You just have to pay attention to the common threads of storytelling and what people believe about you. And if what you find out people believe about you isn't what you want, then you need to give different experiences and then capture that story. If what people believe about you is something that is reflective of a great brand, now you need to really amplify that.